Hi, here we are with video number 2 on making the sandals, baby sandals. Here is a finished product. I wanted you to see those first. They are so precious and they're so cute and easy to do. I want to show you all about it. Joy writes the most wonderful directions. This is from Joy Welsh at Applique for Kids, as you saw today was posted. I'm so excited about these when I asked her to do this, and she has worked so hard on it, and I hope everybody will take advantage of it and buy this and make these little shoes, because for a baby gift they are awesome. Now I'm showing you this hoop because the first thing, I'm going to hoop up 2 pieces of wash away stabilizer, and I'm going to follow along Joy's instructions. As you can see, she has 3 pages well written instructions. If you just follow right along with those, you'll be able to do this in no time. I have got let's see here. I've got my fabric ready. You need some Steam-A-Seam 2 light. And I've already taken my hoop, one hoop, to the machine, and I've stitched out the placement line for this. We are going to place the fabric, which has been, this is a piece of fabric. I cut mine a little bigger than Joy did in her video, in her instructions for this video. It is about a 7 wide, or 7 long by about 14 wide, and I just fold it over. I iron a piece of Steam-A-Seam 2 light in between. Fuse these 2 pieces of fabric together. We're going to place them in the hoop over this placement line here so that we can sew down the sides. You will make the sides of these shoes first. It's very important that you make the sides first, because when you have the soles in the hoop, you will be adding these sides to that while it's in the hoop. So here we go. You got to tape this down on both ends so that your fabric is stable in there. And now I'm going to take it to the machine and we're going to stitch this out. Here I am at the machine. As you can see, our next step is the tack down line. We're going to sew this out, and then I'm going to remove the hoop from the machine and we're going to trim it away, and then the aqua will be the satin stitch around this. The final stitch will be the little leaf on the top of the sandal for the buttonhole, near where the button goes. Here we're doing our tack down, getting ready then for the other side, and we'll remove it and then we will trim. Okay, one side is finished sewing, and now I'm about to do the other side. On the second side, I wanted to show you, these are the 4 steps here. The first one is the placement line, the second one's a tack down, third one's satin stitch, and the fourth one's to finish the little leaf on the top of the sandal. Okay ladies, here's why you sew your soles last, because they need to stay in the hoop until you get the sides sewn on. So what you would do is have your sides all trimmed, all ready to go, and then you will start placing them just like this. You see the little placement line right here? This is where the back of your sandal piece goes, and then it would line up right along the edge here. And then you tape it down really, really well with some Scotch tape. You do the other side, and you have to fold the one side back a little bit to make sure that you don't have anything in the way, because your machine's, this has to go under the presser foot, so you need to have it laying really flat. So you just tape it down with some Scotch tape, and that should hold it. But just make sure when you're at the machine you have an orange stick or something that you can hold that down with in case it decides to come up. Both sides have been placed on each side of the soles, and they're ready to put back on the machine and sew the satin stitch around that to hold the sides to the soles. It's sewing down the satin stitch around the shoe, and when it's finished, then the sides will be attached to the soles. All finished with the sewing in the hoop. You can see this side is sewn on. This side is still taped down. Once I take the tape off, it's going to be all finished as well. Now this is when we can take them out of the hoop, trim off the stabilizer around the edges as close to it as you can, being sure not to trim the last stitch near the placement line real close. It needs to be about 1/4 inch left, as you can read in Joy's instructions, and the reason why. And this is also where when you take them out of the hoop, she says that you can soak them, rinse them, and then dry them with a towel. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cut all the stabilizer away from them and touch them up with a wet Q-tip at the end. And then next step for me and you would be to sew the straps on the back. Now that our little shoes are all done, we need to add the straps to the back. Now in Joy's instructions, she says to use a 1 3/8 inch wide strip that is 6 inches long for the small and the medium, and a 5.5 inch long for the extra small. I'm doing a medium, so I cut my little strips to 6 inches long. And you fold under each edge of the little strip. I'm just going to show you on a strip of fabric here. As you know, if you have this little fabric, first you're going to press under the end. It's kind of hard to do this. You're going to press it under on each end just like this. Then you're going to press over each side just like that. So sort of like that. And you're going to do it both ways. And then you're going to fold that piece of fabric in half, and you're going to sew it down the edge really close to the edge. Now I have already done this so that we are a step ahead here. So you can see my little piece right here. It's sewn. I've got the edges, and I have pulled it up to 2 3/4 inches. And I have both straps ready. And now we're going to go to the machine, and I'm going to show you how to put those on to the shoe. I wanted to just go back and tell you here that once you put your little piece here, run your elastic through it, you cut a 5-inch strip of elastic, and you run that through there with a small pin, a little safety pin, and when you get it out this end, you pull it so this end is even, and then you hold it and you sew it a 1/4 inch from the end of it. And then you start pushing it down and gather it until you get it to 2 3/4 inches. And then from the end of that, you'll sew it again across there at a 1/4 inch away. Okay, and then now, this is how I use my trusty glue stick. You know, I love my Soline glue. I put a dab on the back of the strap, and I put it right, let me get this in the photo here, right in the bend of that little scallop on the back of the shoe edge. So you see where it's sitting? So the strap comes out just like that. So you're going to take it to the machine, and you're going to sew it right on the inside, if I can find my finger here. You're going to sew it right along on that edge where you've already sewn it with the sewing machine. Okay, we're going to sew the strap on, and as you can see, I put a little dab of glue on the back here. And we're going to attach it. We're going to turn it so that it goes down. The little bit of the ruffle goes down, so the flat edge is on the top. And so I'm just going to mash that right there down to that little sandal in that circle. Then I'm going to take it to the machine, and I'm going to sew that down. And this time I'm just using regular sewing thread, and I'm polyester thread, and I'm using a kind of an off-white to go with this. You know, that's not really... Okay, so anyway, we're just going to sew this little bit right here. And yes, it will show on the other side once you've sewn this down, but it's not a big deal. You trim all your little threads off, and so there you can see that that's sewn down there, okay? So now we're going to take this side, and it's been sewn a 1/4 inch, but for some reason it's come out here at the end, and it's kind of messy. Anyway, these are sample shoes. We're going to cut this elastic off here, like that. We're going to poke this back under the edges. I've added a little bit of glue here to the end of this one, right on that 1/4 inch space. And then I'm going to turn it just like this in that little thing so that it comes up the back. You can see that it's pressed down in here, and so you're going to have to kind of spread this one out like this so that you can get it back under the needle. Trim your threads. And there you have it, the back of your little sandal with a little strap on it. Now we're going to sew a button. We're going to fold this over right here on the front where Joy has the little leaves. And we're going to put a little pin in here to hold that. And I'm going to get a little button. Okay, I've got my little shoe pinned, and I've pinned it just so that those little leaves come up above the little purple areas on the second part of the side. And I have the thread, I've gone in between the 2 layers and pulled a knot and pulled it in between, and then I did a little stitch and back stitch so that I could secure it and hold it. And now we're going to put a little tiny button on there. And we're just going to sew this little button in place right here to hold these 2 pieces together. And then this little sandal just slides right on the baby's foot. If you want to, you know me, I'm a cam snap person. You can put a cam snap on here. But for right now, I'm going to do it just exactly like Joy did it. And she sewed this little button on. All finished. Here's the little sandals. There's 2 pair. The one on the pink ones are the small, and the purple ones are the mediums. Now the purple ones I finished with the little button, just like Joy did in hers. Now the little pink ones I put chem snaps. I just wanted to give you a choice there. But they're done exactly the same way. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and here's a couple of things not to do. Sew out 2 sides, 2 of the same sides, then you have an extra side, which really makes you feel guilty and want to do another pair. And then you have the pair up here for the child who likes to put their shoes on the wrong feet, because I put the snaps going the wrong direction. So see, I make mistakes all the time, so don't feel bad when you make one. Have a good day.